Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use super bowlers to easily 3-star any base here at Townhall 16. So this is the army composition we are going to be jumping in to look at today, and super bowlers are really strong. We see lots of different strategies, mainly quite Root Rider, Valkyrie, heavy, dragons, E-drags. Really easy spam based strategies, but actually something slightly more skillful like super bowlers is really effective, and it should hopefully swing back into the meta because honestly this strategy is very strong. And we're going to have Hertha, an ex-Tribe gaming player, going to demonstrate 3 examples of this for us today. So let's jump in and we'll break it down. So when we're coming up against any of these bases, you're going to probably want to come in from the opposite Townhall side. That's typically what most strategies tend to do, but on this one we're actually going to come in making sure we directly target a section where we can easily jump into the core of the base. Now remember, we have 3 super wall breakers, and those are going to need to access us far enough that we can then use a jump spell to get us into the core. So if we were to go over from this section, 3 super wall breakers wouldn't get us that far, and then is that jump going to get us, or are our troops going to probably split? They're probably going to split. So what we're going to do on this example, Hertha is going to come in with a Grand Warden walk to start. Now the Warden charge is going to be a great way to create that funnel. We're also going to see that Frosty, they are going to be coming in just to help us push through, get a little bit more freezing action and DPS onto some of these buildings. Baby Dragon then going to do a little bit of funneling over on this right hand side, and then the Siege Barracks is going to be the siege machine of choice. We don't actually need to create too much of a funnel, in all honesty. As soon as this Wizard Tower goes down, we've created enough of a funnel. We can then get our Ice Golem, we see the Electro Titan coming in, and then we have our super bowlers. A couple of other troops you might see also coming in there. Apprentice Warden, because on our Warden we're actually going to see the Healing Tome with the Eternal Tome, we don't have that Life Gem. Bringing in an Apprentice Warden is a great way to kind of work around not having that life gem. He comes in and his job is to just bring their overall HP up a little bit. Siege Barracks, you're seeing it come in on that right hand side. Its job, like I said, is to create a bit of a funnel. The King, not going to be used in the core of the base. He's going to be used with that Siege Barracks to help push through that funnel. Now jump spell going to be giving us access into the core of the base. Loads of spells all coming in at once, so let's freeze things up right here. We are going to be using a poison spell on our clan castle troops, a rage spell catching all of our troops, including, all importantly, our healers, because we want those healers to be doing maximum healing value. So if the rage spell is on them, that means that's definitely going to be happening. And if you find you're just catching too much DPS on your troops, you're losing too many of them too quickly, that's when we're going to use our Grand Warden ability, because we wanted that healing effect to come through. And on this particular example, you guys will see we took a lot of damage as we got into the core of this base. So using that Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome means it can keep our troops alive just for a little bit longer. Now, at this point, when I was watching this attack, I thought, oh dear, this is looking like a potential 1-star, but don't forget, we do still have that jump spell active. So once you get to a certain point, hopefully your troops should swing around like this if they haven't already caught the Town Hall. But we saved that Royal Champion for the back end of this one to help push through and create a little bit of a funnel as well. We'll talk about that in the next example. There's going to be the Queen ability, which we actually have the Healer Puppet coming through on her with the Invisibility Vial, and they has plenty of troops left up for the back end of this one. Even though we've lost all of our super bowlers, we still have the King, Queen and Royal Champion all alive with looks like a P.E.K.K.A.'s in there. We've got lots and lots of things left up in this one, and honestly this strategy is really fun to use. It's simple to use. You just need to create a funnel with your Grand Warden and the Siege Barracks. You smash everything through into the core, use your spells as and when you need them, and you can get nice easy triples just like this. So jumping into the next example, you're going to see a little bit more of this diamond style base. This is something you might find in Legends League, and again we're going to be coming in with that Grand Warden walk. Now unfortunately on this example we went straight into the enemy queen, so if you're going to dive into a section where your Grand Warden's going to take a lot of DPS, or you're going to encounter an enemy hero, you might just need to bring in a Headhunter like we saw just there with a rage spell. But yet again, what we're trying to do here with our Grand Warden is create enough of a funnel that our troops are going to push in exactly where we want them. We're then going to see all of our super bowlers coming in right there with our Apprentice Warden and our Electro Titan. First super wall breaker going to be coming in, and then we're going to get our King and Siege Barracks down. Now personally, I would have liked to see that King and Siege Barracks coming in slightly earlier, because we do not want our troops to walk here like it looks like some of them potentially might be. But yeah, let's use those spells as and when we need them. Super Wall Breaker is going to be opening up that core compartment, which means we can now use that jump spell on the back end of this one. Right now, our super bowlers are finally making their way into the core of the base, and we're going to use that Eternal Tome as and when we need it. Bam! It's going to get popped off right there, helping protect us through this Town Hall section. We're actually going to see super Hog Riders coming out of our Siege Barracks. Those are going to be able to get some really nice value through the core. And if we pause things up right here, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the Royal Champion. The aim with the Royal Champion is to stop our troops from spreading out too much. We want them to get maximum value from our spells. So if we use our Royal Champions to, say, take down this whole left hand side compartment, it should keep our troops on course to all go through the base together. So she's going to be coming in, taking care of that scatter shot for us. We still have a few troops over towards this right hand side, the P.E.K.K.A.s, the Electro Titan, and this is looking pretty comfortable. Even though we're getting frozen up in the core from those clan castle troops, this one is looking good. Jump spell going to give us access into these back end compartments. Royal Champion still doing a great job. Plenty of spells left up. In this one, we see the skeleton spell. It can be used to tank for the monolith, like we can see on the back end of this one. You can use it to tank for single target infernos and stuff like that. But honestly, using it for the monolith is great because it stops our heroes or our, big tanky troops like super bowlers or P.E.K.K.A.s taking too much damage. We have plenty of spells left up in the back end. We have those free spells, so we might as well go ahead and use them. We're also going to see that Royal Champion ability, which is going to be the Hog Puppet as well as the Haste Vial, pushing us through the back end. And this one, yeah, absolutely crushed. So making sure you funnel is half the battle here, and then just using those spells as and when you need to, you're going to be able to get very easy 3 stars just like this one. So we have one more example of how OP super bowlers can be, and Hearth is going to come in with something a little bit special. So you'll see on this example we have changed up our spells a little bit, and we've brought in some lightning and earthquake spells. Now let's just watch what Hearth does here. This is more of him just showboating, showing that super bowlers can be really strong even if you try to do something a little bit more fancy. But we're going to be coming in with our queen. She's going to be coming in from that top section of the base, and we'll keep an eye on her. We're going to see the healer puppet getting popped right there with the giant arrow, and then we're going to be zapping and using the earthquake spell. Now I'm going to first of all say this isn't something I would suggest doing in Legends League. The giant arrow could more often than not go wrong. It can go in the wrong direction, you can mistime it, it can lock onto the wrong building, stuff like that. So be careful if this is the typical strategy you decide to do. I would lean towards using the first 2 examples of super bowlers that I talked about. But if you want to try and get a little bit more fancy, you want to impress your friends, you want to try and get a little bit more technical, bring up your skills, you can start to do something a little bit more crazy, like the X-Tribe Gaming Pro Heartha is doing right here. He's just trying to show off a little bit, so we might as well let him. Queen Charge going to be coming in from that top hand section. We're also going to see the Grand Warden coming in alongside her, making sure again the first thing we want to do is create that funnel, and that's what Hearth is doing. Taking care of that top section means we've already dealt with some of the key defenses, one of them being that monolith. King going to come in on that left hand side with our siege barracks as well, and then we're going to start to push the rest of our troops into the core of the base. Poison Spell going to come to help us get through all of those ice golems in the clan castle, and we'll just keep an eye on whether we're taking too much DPS here. One more super wall breaker, it's going to be coming in, unfortunately goes the wrong direction, so we're going to have to use that jump. Yep. Here it comes right there to push us through the core, keeping an eye on our troops, a lot of them getting down into the red, so we're going to pop that Eternal Tome ability with the Healing Tome, bringing all of those troops back up to full HP. Queen does split off a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. We have those Super Hog Riders coming out of our Siege Barracks. They are going to be able to do some really nice work as well. Triple Giant Bomb going to be going off in the core, but we do still have those healers, of course, which were originally on our Queen and they were on our Grand Warden. They're going to be able to help us get through the back end of this one. And this is crushed, absolutely crushed. We got loads of value from that giant arrow at the start with those lightning and earthquake spells. It meant that our troops had really good funneling already, so our Grand Warden and our Queen didn't actually have to do too much. And this particular example, even though yes, we got a little bit more technical, the basic fundamentals were still the same. We created a funnel using our Grand Warden and our Queen on this one. I mean, you can use your Queen to help create the funnel at the start, but typically the Grand Warden he's going to stand further away, going to be easier to create the funnel with him, I typically find, and you can pull him exactly where you need to with the rest of the troops. But it's another 3-star. Super Bowlers are really, really strong, especially if you pair them up with the Healing Tome and Eternal Tome of the Grand Warden. They stay alive for so exceptionally long. And that is how you can 3-star with them. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And if you want to see more strategies just like this one for Townhall 16, make sure you go ahead and let me know down in the comments below what strategy would you like to see next. If you're also looking for the army link to that first Super Bowler strategy that I looked at, the first 2 examples, it is down in the description for you to pick up. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.